So, which quarterbacks made our list of the top 26 fantasy quarterbacks this year? What dirty NFL player just announced his retirement? And does the contract extension for the Bears GM did it come a little too soon? Well, we're going to find the answers to those questions and a lot more as we are back for a new off-season episode of Fantasy Football Fever, and it starts no any second now. Hit it. Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. It is Saturday night, July 12th, 2025. Yeah, I know we were supposed to have our show last night, but I just wasn't feeling too good. I mean, I was coughing and I was hacking. Uh, that was terrible. And my voice is maybe a little bit rough, so you have to excuse me for that. So we decided to have a little Saturday night special for you, if you know what I mean. My name is Tim McClelland, of course, and with me, as always, my two partners in crime, the guy walking the streets of the Empire State, the host of the Hooked on Sports podcast, Mr. John Flynn.
Hey, Tim, and it's kind of like Saturday Night Reception, a throwback to the CTDF days when this used to be CTDF.
Oh, that seems like eons ago.
No.
Yeah. And of course, joining us as always, our league commissioner, Mr. John Natale. What's up, bud?
Yeah, doing great. And yeah, speaking of football, in case you guys didn't know, I have officially set the date for the draft. Getting excited.
All right. And
Yes,
if
the
you would please,
countdown is on. It's getting close. I'm very excited.
okay, would you kindly divulge to our audience what the date is?
August 29th at approximately 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, which would be 9:30 on the East Coast, 7:30 Central.
All righty then. So we'll plan for that when that comes along in late August. Of course, at that time, teams will be having their preseason matchups and wrapping up the training camp. I think it's like 2 weeks away now until training camps actually begin, right?
Yeah, and actually earlier today, the LA Chargers rookies reported to training camp.
Ah, the Chargers start the rookies coming in, so we'll get them into the system there. Well,
Yeah, and so because the Chargers play the Lions in the Hall of Fame game, which is on July 31st.
right.
So
Oh,
yeah,
just
there's preseason football this month in the National
Ooh.
Football League, and it's
oh
July.
yeah. Hey, it may be preseason, but I'm still kind of fired up for it. So that's good. Well,
Mhm.
we hope everybody had a very safe 4th of July weekend. I we went to a great fireworks display here in Longview. It was fabulous. It was wonderful. So how was y'all's weekend last week?
Well,
Work.
okay. Can't complain.
I was working on weekends, so
Oh, bummer. Did you get
anyway.
any like holiday pay or anything?
Not much though.
Oh, okay. Well,
Not much
at least
extra.
every bit of extra money works. So,
Yeah.
but there is a 4th of July related story that we'll be getting to here as we go ahead and jump into the show. As always, we cover the headlines with our hot topics. Several things took place since we last convened 2 weeks ago. About last week or earlier this week, Cowboys wide receiver and kick returner Conte Turpin was arrested on two demeanor charges. It was a possession of marijuana, which was less than 2 ounces, and he was unlawful carry of a weapon. But he was released Sunday after posting $1,500 bond. Says here what I've got here in my notes here. TMZ Sports, citing an incident report, reported that Turpin was stopped by police after allegedly driving 97 miles per hour in a 2022 Dodge in a zone that had a 70 mile per hour speed limit. Per the incident report, police say that a 9mm pistol was in plain view in the back of the vehicle and marijuana was found in the center console. And it's just kind of weird because back in March he signed a 3-year, $18 million contract extension and led the NFL return average in his first year. He took 199 yards for a touchdown against the Commanders. I remember that one. That was when he almost fumbled the punt, but then he got it back, and then he made a spin move and just ran down the sidelines for the score here. So,
It's the last 3 minutes of that Cowboys Commanders game, and this was week 12. It was the week right before Thanksgiving. That was pretty topsy turvy, I must say.
oh yeah. So I would suggest that boy gets a little bit of counseling, and he needs to be careful because he is one of the best, if not the best, kick returner in the league. But I mean, you just got to use your head, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's and like it's and one thing I mentioned in the group chat is that, of course, it's a Cowboy player that can't stay off the weed. I mean, I know the NFL has softened its stance regarding marijuana use, but come on, you got to be somewhat available and you got to be somewhat responsible because this is not a great representation of the Cowboys.
Absolutely not. I mean, I love the guy, but he just got to use his head. He just got to use it. So that being said, here. Next story comes to us from Tampa Bay, and some very rough news here. The left tackle Tristan Wirfs could miss the start of the season with a knee injury. So he will likely start on the PUP, the physically unable to perform list.
Where is he?
Yeah. So so if he is placed on this, he'll miss the first 4 games for Tampa Bay, and with a very good defense, a hit like that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, Tim. So your camera got cut off for like 30 seconds right before. So you have to like mention who was hurt and what did he hurt.
Oh, no problem, no problem. It was Tampa Bay Bucks left tackle Tristan Wirfs. He's going to be he could start the season with a knee injury, placed on the physically unable to perform list. And if he's there at the start of the season, he'll probably miss the first 4 games. And with a pretty good defense, a hit like that, it's not good.
Yes, yeah, which is why I don't know what the ceiling for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is going to be, because I still think their offense is excellent. Because I think the wide receiver room, I think with the offseason moves they made is as good as it gets. But from my vantage point, and Baker Mayfield coming off two outstanding seasons, different coordinators, and not having no pro tackle is kind of a problem. And I think Tampa starts the year. I think their first, they have the Falcons and they have the Eagles in their first 4 games. So So not having him could be a big issue, especially if he's not available for the game against Philadelphia and having to fend off that elite defensive front of Philadelphia.
All right, so he was Tampa Bay's first round selection in the 2020 draft. 79 games. He has started all those games during his career, so hopefully a speedy and smooth recovery for that young player. Meanwhile, more legal news here. Gong gong. 49ers wide receiver Demarcus Robinson pleaded no contest this week to a misdemeanor DUI charge, sentenced to 3 years probation. It took place Tuesday in Los Angeles, ordered to pay a $390 fee and complete court-mandated programs, including a 3-month alcohol education program. So, other two charges: he was driving with a blood alcohol content of 0.08 and driving without a license. Again, use your head, guys.
Yeah.
Farm player. He's a great player. Played for a couple of teams here in the league, and you do something like that. Well, and it's kind of weird because just like Turpin, back in March, he signed a 2-year, $9.5 million contract in free agency with the 49ers. So, guys, just stay off of the weed and keep down the alcohol level.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not good. But we do have some good news in the Windy City. It looks like the Chicago Bears and their general manager Ryan Poles have agreed to a 3-year contract extension that will keep him in office until the 2029 season. He had 2 years remaining on his current 5-year deal when he signed up to be the general manager in 2022. So he's basically aligned with the new head coach Ben Johnson until the 2029 season. So you think they gave him an extension a year too early?
I guess we'll see. Bears have a lot of work to do, but I think that they're close, but I don't think they're quite there yet.
So, I think Ryan Poles. So because I think his rosters have been actually decent, but it's been a matter of bad coaching, and it's honestly just amazing of Ben Johnson's ability to make everyone around him look good, even the general manager that he brought in a huge emphasis on the offensive line. So Johnson and Poles went out and beefed up the interior of their offensive front, which was an issue. Williams, I think he led the league in sacks taken last year. So Ben Johnson's making sure that's not a problem for him as he tries to develop into being a superstar quarterback in the National Football League. So but I do think though, Natale, I do think the Bears are going to be excellent this season. I think so. When you factor in the coach, the culture, imagine all the games that the Bears could have won last year if they actually had competent coaching. So I think the Bears are going to be in a position where they could be competitive up there with Detroit. Really, in my view, to win that division. Because remember, Detroit lost both of its coordinators to head coaching gigs with the Bears and the Jets, respectively. Aaron Glenn, of course, being coach of the Jets. So I think there should be an opening there for the Chicago Bears to possibly compete. I'm not saying they're going to win the division, but if they don't make the playoffs this year, it's going to be a disappointment in my view.
Ooh, this is sounding like a possible playoff or no playoff team for you in the coming
I agree.
weeks.
I actually agree. Actually
Mm,
agree. I mean, I think Chicago has the potential to
mm,
kind of make a good run.
mm,
Uh, right now, I'm kind of on the fence of if they'll make the playoffs or not.
yeah.
If they do, they may be like anywhere between a 5 and a 7 seed. But
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah,
we'll just have to see what happens there.
yeah. And it's going to be interesting to see this in the coming weeks
It's,
when we release our playoff or no playoffs lists.
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
I think the Bear. I feel like the Bears are better than Green Bay. I think they're better than the Minnesota Vikings right now. So so that's where I'm at. I'm not dealing it with the Packers this year, despite drafting Matt Golden from Texas to have a
Mm,
number 1 receiver. But so everything is right there for the Chicago Bears to make the playoffs and maybe even win a playoff game if they have a good matchup.
mm.
Man, when was the last time that we said that the Bears could compete with Detroit and could maybe be better than Green Bay or Minnesota? Man, how long has that
I
been?
mean, it was the last time the Bears won the division was 2018, because that was when the Bears. So that was Matt Nagy's first year as the coach, and the Bears defense was coached up by someone named Vic Fangio.
Mm.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we got
So,
a good
of
friend.
course, Vic Fangio, of course.
You were saying about Fangio?
So that Fangio is now the defensive coordinator for the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah. So our friend Dashy is here. How you doing, Dashy? Hope you had a great 4th of July. He says Bengals need to pay Trey Hendrickson and sign their draft picks Shamar Stewart and Demetrius Knight ASAP. He also mentioned this statement: as for the quarterback situation, I don't know which quarterback the Browns are starting week 1 against the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the Browns, there was a developing story within the last few hours, and is that their second round draft choice, Quinshon Junkins, what was arrested on domestic violence charges.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah,
Uh,
and yeah, and there are also insiders that say that Shador Sanders is still QB4 on the current depth chart. Which I'm saying is, wow, can I not be surprised about how the Cleveland Browns balled up the draft process this year?
Mm.
Like I always say, Cleveland Browns do Cleveland Browns things.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Just cannot. I I can't understand that system, that franchise. Just, I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
we do have
And,
a,
and
yeah, go ahead, Blaine.
go ahead, Tim. No, go
Oh,
ahead, Tim.
yeah, I was going to say, we have a defensive player who just announced his retirement. 13-year NFL player Ndamukong Suh announced his retirement from the NFL earlier today. It'd been over a year since his father passed away, so yes, he wanted to go ahead, retire, walk into the sun. He was a number 2 pick in the 2010 draft, drafted by the Lions. 5 seasons with Detroit. Then he played for the Dolphins from 2015 to 2017. Played for the Los Angeles Rams in the 2018 season. Then played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2019, 2021. And with the Eagles back in 2022. Been out of football for the past 2 seasons. And in the 2020 season, of course, he won a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay. 600 career tackles, 71.5 career sacks, 1 interception, 5 forced fumbles, and 9 fumble recoveries, and 3 of them were returned for a touchdown. appeared in 199 games, starting all but 8 he played with the Eagles in his final season. So pretty good statistics right there.
Oh yeah.
But
And also not to mention that he was named the first team All Pro 3 times and second team All Pro twice.
yep, all pro there. But of course, if I had to pick my list of 5 dirtiest players in NFL history, Ndamukong Suh would definitely be on that list.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes, we all remember that Thanksgiving Day a few years ago between the Lions and the Packers. Yeah, whether he decided to, when Sue decided to stomp on someone's arm. Yeah, he goes up there with one of the dirtiest players, but you could not deny his toughness. I will say that. So we wish Ndamukong Suh all the best in his retirement. Uh, a little something for what it's worth. Last weekend, Chargers running back Najee Harris suffered an eye injury in a 4th of July fireworks accident.
Jeez.
I mean, does Natale, does that bring PTSD to you?
I think so. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to figure out where you're going with this, but
I think you're referring to Jay.
That's not.
You're referring to
Wait a
JPP.
yeah. Oh
Yes.
yes.
I mean, so like, I was convinced that that if the Giants had a healthy JPP, they would have won the NFC East in 2015 and made the playoffs.
Yeah. So according
because remember the NFC East was bad that year.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. His agent Doug Henderson told ESPN that happened to Schefter on Thursday. The injury was superficial, and Harris should be ready to go by the start of training camp. The mishap resulted in injuries to several attendees. One was hospitalized after he lost his fingers in the accident. Back in March, Najee signed a 1-year deal with the Chargers to play a key role in the Chargers rebuilding rush offense. And a very, very interesting note here. It has been 8 years since the Chargers had a 1,000-yard rusher. And the last person to do that was Melvin Gordon, 1,105 yards in 2017. So,
and of course, Melvin Gordon was the last guy, the last running back the Chargers drafted so early on until Amari and Hampton, who they drafted with the 22nd overall pick from the University of North Carolina.
right. So I guess you gotta be careful with fireworks, people. I mean, there are injuries every single year. Make sure you have professionals who know how to run those things. Yeah, you don't want to be like Jason Pierre-Paul and lose a finger.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's all the hot topics that I have on my end.
Yeah.
Oh, you mentioned a trade that happened this past
Oh
week.
yeah, it was a big one. So this was a blockbuster trade that went down between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Miami Dolphins. Whereas the Pittsburgh Steelers traded Minka Fitzpatrick and a fifth round pick to the Miami Dolphins in exchange for cornerback Jalen Ramsey, tight end Jonnu Smith, and a late round pick in 2027, I believe. So, of course, this is going to impact some things. It's going to impact the fantasy values of Jonnu Smith and Pat Fryermuth. It's going to that the Steelers now actually have a pretty legit secondary to go along with that pass rush. So of course, in fantasy purposes, but now Frymuth and Smith are going to have to compete for targets. But the one thing I will add though is that Arthur Smith is the offensive coordinator, and this happened, and he's done two tight end offenses or tight ends before. He did that in 2019 with the Titans, and the two tight ends were Delaney Walker. Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
And a young and up and coming tight end named Jonnu Smith.
Oh.
So of course some familiarity with Arthur Smith's offense, and of course Arthur Smith is kind of like a run is more of like a run first type of play caller. So maybe is he better as the play caller rather than a head coach like we saw with the Atlanta Falcons,
Right.
for 3 years.
Very interesting trade there. Top name players going to new places, and
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's another example of that to me that the Dolphins, unfortunately, our friend Alex Putnam's team has absolutely no idea what the hell they're doing.
yeah, I'm kind of thinking of Alex right now. I'm feeling that he's probably thinking the same thing. What in the world are my boys doing?
Mm-hmm.
But that's good news for the fantasy values of Devon Achane and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, who are going to have a higher share of the targets in Miami.
Wait a minute, did I hear a name drop? Jalen Waddle?
Yeah.
No, that's a new one.
I thought I played that one on here before.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I think I think Tim put it in like towards middle of last season, but
Yeah, hardly ever used it though. But anyway, interesting trade. We'll see how it affects those two teams when the preseason starts up. It ain't too far away, so
yeah,
Right.
yeah, and you also have to wonder about Aaron Rodgers, and you also have to wonder about how it's going to impact DK Metcalf's stock
Right.
come draft time.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, we'll keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on those trends. And speaking of fantasy quarterbacks, we made a list of the top 26 quarterbacks in the league. I guess we wanted to have an even number, I guess. So
Yes, I mean, so it's like the premise was that I asked Tim and Natale to send me their top 25. But the way I formatted the graphics, it would not have made sense if it was 25, because it would have been. I would have had to format things differently. Probably have to add another page onto my publisher program. So we went with 26. And I didn't realize it until after I finished it. It's like paying homage to the U.S. version of Deal or No Deal, with 13 numbers on the left, 13 on the right. So
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that.
I mean, I didn't pick up on that until I actually finished. Then.
Yeah. A lot of those some of the bottom choices were really tough. Like 24 through 26. I had like several names in mind.
Yeah. and kind of thought about it, I would have ranked it from 26 down to 1, where the top prizes are in the bottom right
Mm.
of the board.
That's kind of a
Yeah,
thought there.
but I'm not going to do that for the graphics for our series
Right.
of episodes coming up over the next several weeks.
Yeah, that's all right. But well, we have our list of quarterbacks, and who we got going first?
Let me cross the streets first. I mean, if you fill up mine first, that would be great.
All right, we'll go ahead and look at Flynn's quarterback ratings here. We will go ahead and pop this little graphic up here.
Yeah, so it kind of feels like a pretty standard list here. So I mean, the reason why I put Josh Allen ahead of Lamar, because I feel like Lamar has a better supporting cast around him than Allen does, but because that might require Allen to continue to run the ball as often as he did, and I'm not sure if James Cook is going to have 16 rushing touchdowns again this season like he did last year. So I think this is so the opportunity there is prime for someone like Allen to be able to take care of business. So for now, Allen is my number one when Lamar Jackson is number two. I kept Jalen Hurts at number 3 because I think it would have been ranked a lot lower had the Tush Push been banned, but I think Jalen Hurts will be one that'll have the beneficiary of it with the Tush Push. So that's why I have Jalen Hurts 3, Jaden Daniels at number 4. Joe Burrow is going to be number 5 because I think an opportunity is prime for him because he's the first, the top of all the pocket passer type of quarterbacks. The top 4 are all dual threat quarterbacks. So and you have the combination of having Chase and Higgins and a bad defense. So you're looking at a scenario where he's probably going to have to throw for 300, 400 yards weekly and some touchdowns to win ball games for the Bengals. As I put Baker Mayfield at 6 because I feel like that he is the biggest beneficiary of how Tampa's offense is constructed. It's because of all the different weapons he can go to. So that's why I have him at 6. Patrick I have at 7. So it's because I could still see a scenario where Patrick returns to MVP form this season because the last 2 have not been great. I mean, it helps Patrick that having an available Rashee Rice is going to be big, and Rashee Rice averaged 10 targets a game in the 3 games that he played last year. So I think that only benefits Patrick. But Brock Purdy is at number 8 because I think he has one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. Kyler Murray, I think, just having an improvement from Marvin Harrison Jr., I think is going to help him as well. Bo Nix, I have at number 10. I have Dak at 11. He is the because I do think Dak is going to have an excellent season. So I think he'll throw for 4,000 yards. I think he'll throw for 30+ touchdowns. So I think him being healthy and the offensive line situation being much better than it was last year, I think is only going to help Dak this year. And when he's healthy, he puts up lots of gaudy statistics. Justin Fields, I do think Justin Fields is gonna have a very good, a decent season for the Jets. I mean, the Jets are one of like the few teams in the NFL going into the season where they are going to win games you don't expect them to win. So it's because of the upgrade of coaching to where it was last year, and I do think that that the Jets make sense for him. Because it's going to be a running offense, I think. So the combination of him and Brees Hall. So that's that. Justin Herbert, so he's great at protecting the football. Caleb Williams and C.J. Stroud both have opportunities to really bounce back up, or bounce back for Stroud's case and bounce up, or if you're Caleb. So in the sense that they can outkick their projections. I do like JJ McCarthy at 16. I think Kevin O'Connell's going to have him throw more often. I know he's kind of he hasn't seen NFL real time action yet, but I think he's gonna. He's a good candidate to throw for 4,000 yards, thanks to having Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison as receivers. Although Bryce Young, though, I do think he is a great candidate for to break out this year because the thing is, like, in his last 7 games, or is from weeks 12 onward, he finished he was ranked 9th in points per game with 21.1. He averaged 264 yards passing in each of his last in his last 7 starts, with 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and 5 rushing touchdowns, which was second in the NFL in that span, only to Josh Allen. So I do think Bryce Young is coming into the season with momentum. And I would love to draft him, have him as a backup quarterback this year for fantasy, because I do think he has a lot of upside there. I have Jordan Love at 18, Jared Goff 19, Drake May 20, Stafford, Trevor Lawrence, Tua, Michael Penix Jr., Cam Ward, and Geno Smith rounded out my list.
Mm-hmm. Interesting there. I kind of agree. Patrick Mahomes, low on the top 10 right there. Dak Prescott, kind of at the near the middle there. It'll be interesting to see his connections with CeeDee Lamb and with the newly acquired George Pickens. Cam Ward, the only rookie you have in 25 right there.
Yeah.
Actually, looks interesting. Caleb Williams at 14, I could see that. It's very interesting that in the storied history of the Bears, is it true they've never had a 4,000 yard passer?
They've never had a 4,000 yard passer in a season. No.
Wow. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I say, like I said, Caleb Williams and the Bears, I think they have a good potential to make a very good season. Not a total disaster. Not a lot of sizzle, but some pretty good substances, I would usually say sometimes. So that's Flynn's list. Let's go ahead. We will remove that list, and I'll tell you what, Natale, we'll go ahead and put your list up here.
Sure.
And we will pop it up there like so.
All right, yeah. We have 1 and 2. We're super close. It was really hard to pick. Like, I could see the argument for both sides. It was like 51-49. Like, just the narrowest of margins. I gave the spot to Josh Allen, and then, but yeah, I wouldn't be mad if someone put Lamar Jackson at 1. I would actually be fine with that. I decided to put Jaden Daniels slightly ahead of Jalen Hurts because Jaden Daniels had a monster season. I got to give him all the credit there. Yeah, Joe Burrow at 5. Yeah, I mean, if he has another repeat performance, if he leads the league in receiving yards again, and passing yards again, and puts up like Josh Allen numbers at the same time, he could very well take the number 1 spot for next season. I wouldn't be surprised if he does. Yeah, I put Baker Mayfield at 6. Yeah, I'm now finally ready to admit that I've been wrong all these years about Tampa. They are the real deal. Mayfield has been a very solid quarterback these past several seasons, so I got to give him a lot of credit there. And I'm perfectly fine with Kyler Murray at number 7. I think he's due for a bounce back season. The Cardinals might very well be a fringe playoff team potentially. Patrick Mahomes, he's no longer a top 5 quarterback in my eyes. He's lucky to be at the top 10 at this stage with all the other talent around. Number 9, yeah. Never thought I would use these words in the same sentence. Mr. Irrelevant and top 10. Never thought I'd use that in the same sentence. But yeah, Brock Purdy has been doing well. Yeah, Bo Nix, I put him at number 10. Yeah, he was pretty solid last season in his debut.
I mean, he was terrific down the stretch of the season. So I used Bo Nix as part of a trade package that brought me back Brock Bowers in a trade. So I mean, it was like a rare trade that worked out well for both sides in fantasy. So
all right. Yeah. Justin Herbert, I felt comfortable with putting him at 11. It was a tough one, but he's been regressing a little bit. But I think some of that can't really be his fault. He doesn't really have a line and stuff, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt there. He's probably a borderline QB1 at this stage. Jared Goff at number 12. Lions have been very, very good these past few years. Yeah, Justin Fields at 13. I figured right in the middle of the road there, so we'll see how he does. Jordan Love at 14, kind of the same principle, both like middle of the road quarterbacks. CJ Stroud at 15. I felt comfortable putting him in the dead center. What started off really well, he has digressed a little bit these couple of seasons, but he's still very solid. And Caleb Williams at 16, one of those middle of the road players there. And Dak Prescott, he took a bit of a step back, but some of it is not really his fault. You got there's like ownership issues, culture issues, like that type of thing. Yeah, Drake May I put at 18. I think this guy is due for a breakout, and he's probably one of my early candidates for comeback player of the year. Yeah, JJ McCarthy, put him at 19 for now. I can't really put him much higher. He hasn't played a single game yet, so we got to see how he does in his debut. Yeah, Matthew Stafford, he's not the player he once was. If he was a lot younger, still in his prime, he'd be a lot higher. Trevor Lawrence, yeah, what happened with him? What was once a number 1 draft pick, and somehow he has just collapsed.
Yeah.
Part of it had to do with the injury he suffered a couple of years ago. But if you take the second half of his sophomore season and the first 2/3 of year 3, this was a quarterback that was starting to live up to the hype and was going out there playing at a high level, but. Then the injury happened. The Jaguars not doing enough to overcome a very, very poor defense.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and let's see. Number 22, I put Cam Ward, new guy. I can't really rank the new guys much higher. You got to put them in the 20s, see how they do. They perform very well. They move up higher in the rankings. It's basically that simple. 23 to Tagovailoa, basically the same principle as Trevor Lawrence. What was once a strong QB, they got rattled due to injuries. Yeah, Michael Penix Jr. Yeah, we'll see how he does there. And then my 25 and 26 were very hard for me to do, so I kind of just picked some random guys. I picked Sam Darnold at 25. He's definitely not going to put up the numbers that he did last season, but I think he'll do just enough to be a quarterback for benches on fantasy purposes. And then basically the same thing for Geno Smith. I had a couple of candidates in mind. I was considering Russell Wilson. And I was considering Bryce Young. I had a couple of names in mind, but I went with Geno Smith and Sam Darnold to round out my list.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I will say about Geno Smith is that he's actually doesn't have a bad situation at all with the Raiders because this was something I mentioned with, on Hooked on Sports on Tuesday that so that I think the Raiders are team 4-4 in the division. Based upon the roster and the mess of a roster that was left behind by that was left behind. But I do think though having Brock Bowers, having Jacoby Myers, who was actually pretty darn good last year if you watch the Raiders, and then you have Ashton Genty in the backfield. So I think a combination of those three things I think could make for an interesting offense. Now I'm not going to say playoffs for the Raiders because I think their three division rivals are all better and with great coaches as well. But that doesn't mean they can't win 7, maybe 8, maybe 9 games this year.
Right.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
I think Natale read my mind.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of dangerous right there.
But
anyway,
ready for your list now.
Now, yep, it is time to put my list up here. Oh, let me eliminate that. Okay, and now let's put up my list out here. Now, kind of like what I did last year, I kind of made this list out of 4 different lists that I was looking at. So I kind of examined each list, and from those lists, I came up with my own. So basically, here's my list, and my number 1 will be interesting. I do have Lamar Jackson, and I've got Josh Allen. I got them at 1 and 2 respectively. They are the best 2 quarterbacks in the league right now. And I think pretty much for each team, they're coming into this year is basically Super Bowl or bust.
Right.
And I actually did a little research earlier today. They have played 4 regular season games against each other. Lamar Jackson has a 3-1 advantage. However, in the 2 games that they've played in the playoffs, Allen has won both of those. So there's a huge difference right there. So it's going to be interesting how both the Ravens and the Bills go into this year.
Right, and also just to make it clear to the viewers that we're doing this from fantasy football perspective. So our commentary on Patrick is nothing related to how to his unbelievable legacy that he is carving out with the Kansas City Chiefs that five Super Bowls in 6 years, but we have to think though about Lamar being the MVP in 23, Allen being the MVP in 24. Although people will argue that Lamar should have won last year. So you have to look at this about this when you're getting ready for your drafts.
Yeah, exactly. Keep that in mind right there. I've got Jaden Daniels at number 3. What an awesome rookie year he had. I think the Commanders could be right up there with those Eagles, which I happen to have Jalen Hurts at number 4. Not necessarily saying that the Commanders will finish with a better record than the Eagles, but I can see a huge upside for Jaden Daniels this year. Jalen Hurts, that's a bad boy right there. I've got Joe Burrow at number 5. now that he's got his boys with new contracts, his receivers, I think we can see a nice push right there. Maybe a chance for a division championship in the AFC North. I've got Patrick Mahomes at number 6, a little bit higher than what other people would say, but I mean this could be maybe a slight down year, but not so much. It may not be as good. He may not be as good the last few years, but he's still going to be pretty good. Baker Mayfield at number 7, and Natale said the Bucks are the real deal, and Baker Mayfield is going to have an awesome year, and I kind of see the Bucks repeating as division champions in the NFC South.
Mhm.
Nix, I have him at number 8. He had a great season, and the defense is pretty good there. But Bo Nix, I think I have him right up there in the top 10. I'm going to give Justin Fields number 9. I'm going to give him a chance with those New York Jets, who are pretty much as delusional and dysfunctional as probably the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to give Justin Fields a chance. Maybe a new coaching system will do him some good. I got Justin Herbert at number 10. Not as good as he was, but he's still pretty consistent in my opinion.
Right.
Caleb Williams, I have him at a number 11. I see him on a little upswing this year. Like we said, like I said, I'm on the borderline of playoffs, no playoffs for the Bears. They're going to make it very
Right.
interesting. Kyler Murray, I got him at number 12, and I got him as probably one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league. I mean, he's the one quarterback that hardly anybody really pay attention to, but you gotta watch that guy because he's pretty darn good. I got Brock Purdy at number 13. Hopefully hopefully he'll be stay healthy. The receivers are there, so I'm pretty good about Brock Purdy finishing within the top 15. Jared Goff, number 14. Be interesting to see how he can handle with a new head coach there, and with his receivers. C.J. Stroud, I've got him at 15, and I think I still see the Texans winning their division there. Speaking of Texas teams, this was no coincidence. I put Stroud and Prescott one behind the other since they're both in the state of Texas. I got Dak Prescott at number 16. As I said, it's been working a lot with George Pickens during the mini camps and the OTAs, and seems like they're building a good rapport with each other. So interesting to see how that does. He may have a little better swing side, but like Natale said, it wasn't all Prescott's fault. I
Right.
mean, but it's that glaring statistic, 2-5 in the playoffs in his career. It still sticks out like a bad rash.
Oh,
I've got Jordan Love at number 17. Um, I think the Packers are still going to be pretty good. Jordan Love's going to be pretty good, but watch out for, of course, even though I got Caleb Williams ranked higher, um, I could see Caleb Williams getting on the level of Jordan Love, maybe even surpassing him a little bit during the season. So I'm not going to quite count out the Bears just yet. Trevor Lawrence, I got him at 18, and Trevor Lawrence and Tua Tagovailoa 18 and 19 respectively, and I kind of agree with what Natalie said. They were one hot prospects, first round draft picks, and I don't know what's happened. I don't know. They just kind of slid down the food chain a little bit. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Matthew Stafford, I could probably see a little bit upside that. NFC West is going to be very, very interesting this year. See how Matthew Stafford can keep up with Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy, and Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy, Matthew Stafford, and of course, who am I missing? I don't know. Michael Penix Jr. at number 22. I think he'll have a good upside this year coming in, and it kind of makes me think why is Kirk Cousins still on the Falcons roster? I mean,
Mm.
he just I think Cousins is done. I think he's done. So
Oh yeah.
I see Michael Penix Jr. having a pretty good year. I agree that you don't want to rank rookie quarterbacks too high. So I've got Cam Ward at number 23.
Yeah.
Um,
But also, I mean, if we learn anything from the last 2 years, so it's that if you have an impact rookie quarterback, he's going to make things happen, like C.J. Stroud or Jaden Daniels or Bo Nix. Those guys are if they play enough, they'll make impacts.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's true. 24, 25, and 26. I'm going to be honest with you; they were just toss-ups.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
when you get down to the bottom of the list there, I've actually got Russell Wilson from y'all's New York Football Giants.
Yeah,
I
I'm cool
mean,
with that.
it's remember it's just a 1 year deal that he signed, but could this be a year that we could make a comeback? I don't know.
The question is how much is he going to play this year? Because
Right.
of course the Giants have to figure out when they're gonna when they're gonna put Jackson Dart, because I believe that the plan is that Jackson Dart is gonna take over as a starter later in the year. So that's why I and who knows, is Jameis Winston going to see some playing time as well? So that's another thing you got to figure out if you're the Giants.
Yeah. Tommy
Yeah,
DeVito's still there too.
yeah, he's still there. I don't want to see none of him.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
done with.
yeah, pretty much too. And I'm probably going to be done with Joe Flacco. I've got him at number 25. I'm kind of thinking this will be Flacco's final year. And I kind of think that could be a chance that
Mm-hmm.
he might get pulled from the starting position sometime in the midseason. And do they put Shador Sanders in at that time?
Mm.
Something maybe to think about. And I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt. Number 26, Aaron Rodgers. Brand new team, brand new system with of course, the one head coach I've always said I've got mad respect for him, Mike Tomlin. Be interesting to see how Rodgers does with a new system right there. But he says it's pretty much going to be the final year. So, like I said, he really doesn't have anything more to prove. But I'm just interested to see what's going to happen there. We have,
Yep.
Yeah,
yeah,
I felt like Rodgers was the tough exclusion. So, but because
Yeah.
Rodgers does have some good offensive playmakers at its disposal, especially now, so that they have Jonnu Smith. So that between Smith, Fryermuth, and Metcalf. So and potentially how they're going to utilize Caleb Johnson in the backfield could really be a situation where we might where Aaron Rodgers might be might be someone that you stash on your bench.
maybe, we'll just see what happens on that. So, so basically, that's our list here. Very interesting list, I will say. So, so with that, we will take that off the screen,
Mhm.
and I believe
Think this
it
is
is trivia time.
alrighty.
So it's time to work our brains a little bit, even though my brain is not at 100% because of the way I felt last night, having to cancel the show and reschedule for tonight. So, but I'm going to try and see if I can answer this one. So, who's got the question?
Yes,
It's Flynn has it.
I have the question. So I'm actually typing this up on a banner here. So I have it ready to go. So you ready for your question?
All right, let's do it.
All right. So this question is only going back since 2005. So it's the last 20 years. Who is the only quarterback in the past 20 years to lead all QBs in fantasy points in consecutive seasons?
Hmm. I
Who
feel
is
like
the only
I'm
quarterback?
really tempted to say Tom Brady, but that feels way too obvious.
That would be way too obvious. That's the obvious answer, but that's not my
Ooh.
answer.
I think I have I might have an idea.
Okay.
I was tempted to say Peyton Manning, but that sounds too obvious also. But I do have my guess. My guess is going to be Drew Brees.
All right. So Tim, what's your answer?
You know what? We never talk about Drew Brees and everything he did when he was with the New Orleans Saints. So I'm tempted to agree with you, Natale.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm gonna go with Drew Brees.
All right. So Drew Brees, the final answer.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so Drew Brees led NFL quarterbacks in fantasy points just once in his career, and that was in 2008, the first of his 5,000-yard seasons.
That's where I was going. That's what I was thinking about that. That was what led to my answer.
Yeah, and then the thing about Tom Brady is he only did it once in his career. And that was the 50 touchdown year in 2007. And the other obvious answer you thought of, Peyton Manning, he only he did it in 2005 and 2013, so it's not consecutive seasons.
Right.
So the answer that I was looking for is Josh Allen.
Really?
Oh my gosh, Josh Allen.
Yep. Jeez.
Yep, 2020 and 2021. Yeah, he was #1 fantasy quarterback.
You know, when Flynn asked that question, I was immediately thinking of either Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. But for some reason, I thought that wasn't too obvious. I didn't think it was obvious. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, that was way obvious. And when he said Drew Brees, I thought, yeah, it makes sense, Drew Brees. But Josh Allen.
I was only thinking about past quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so Josh Allen actually also did it in 2023. Lamar Jackson did it twice. Patrick Mahomes did it twice in his 2 MVP years. There was one year Russell Wilson was #1, and I think that was 2017. Aaron Rodgers actually did it 4 times. He did it in 09, 11, 14, and 16, but never consecutive. And then there was a year where I'm trying to think of who the others who did it, but Mike Vick in 2010 for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, Mike Vick, I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah, Cam Newton in his MVP season. Yes, I mean, but the reason you probably didn't think of Josh Allen because he did not win because those 2 years he won MVP. Aaron Rodgers was the MVP in both years.
Right.
And if you go back previous to 2005, there are actually several quarterbacks who did it twice in a row. Dante Culpepper did it. Jeff Garcia did it. Brett Favre did it in his 3 MVP seasons, the 95 through 97. Steve Young, 92, 93, 94. Roger Staubach did it in 77 and 78. And Ken Anderson did it in 74 and 75.
Okay. So very interesting question indeed. Very interesting. I like that. Well, I guess guess there's really not that much more to talk about right now. So,
I guess running backs is next.
Yeah, I think
I
running
believe
backs.
that's next.
Yeah, I believe that's next week.
Cool.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, we'll be back at our normal night, Friday night, normal time. We'll be talking about running backs. This and a few days ago, Flynn dropped a new episode of Hooked on Sports, and it's a very interesting one. He's ranking the 8 divisions in the NFL, and I found that show very, very interesting. He's even got one division where all 4 teams could make the playoffs.
Mm.
Not saying which one it is. You're just going to have to tune in to Hooked on Sports. You're just going to have to do that. So, and of course, as always, yep, there it is. Listen to Hooked on Sports, Apple iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, anywhere you find your podcast. Look up Hooked on Sports, and you'll be listening to John Flynn with his great insight. Next show, of course, next Friday night, we'll be looking at the list of running backs. So, it looks like, and as we mentioned earlier, we have our draft show 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central.
Yep.
Now, is that when we go on the air, or is when the draft actually begins?
When it actually begins.
So the draft begins at 9:30 Eastern.
Correct. So you probably will want to like do the meetup and mingle like 15 minutes prior, like that type of thing.
Yeah,
we'll start the show 15 minutes early.
Yeah, and then we'll explain what our rules and how we're going to approach it. So
Okay, so I guess we can set it to 9:15 Eastern.
Yep.
We
yeah,
can do that.
maybe a little before that as well. So
Yeah, and of course, very soon, probably the first week of September, either last week of August or first week of September, we got to shout out to our boy, wrong one. That's what I'm talking about. Pagan Game Pickers will come back in September on the 8 Pills of 90 channel on Wednesdays. So be sure to look for that. So I guess with that, we will go ahead and close out this edition of Fantasy Football Fever. I got an early train to catch in the morning. I'm heading out of town, heading to the DFW area. And I'm actually going to be hanging out with Alex Putnam, who's already in DFW right now.
Nice.
So we'll be hanging out together. And I'll try to get some pictures, try to get some little videos. So hopefully we'll have a wonderful time. And hopefully we will not have too much rain because they are calling for rain in the forecast in Arlington. But hopefully not too much to spoil our fun. So that's basically it right there.
Oh, yeah.
So that will do it for this edition of Fantasy Football Fever. Thank you so very much for joining us tonight. For John Flynn, for John Natale, my name is Tim McClelland. Thank you very much for joining us. Have a great week. Enjoy the week ahead. God bless you all. And as always, be a good sport. See ya.